Republican vice presidential nominee Paul Ryan laying out a new vision that he believes would help America's poor. A war, he says, the U.S. is not winning.
Upward mobility is the central promise of life in America. But right now, Americans' engines of upward mobility aren't working the way they should. In this war on poverty, poverty's winning.
So was he right? Steve Forbes, chairman, editor-in-chief of Forbes Media. Steve, good morning to you and welcome back here in New York.
Good to be with you, Bill. Thank you.
What do you think about that overarching point that Paul Ryan's making there?
Oh, he's absolutely right. Upward mobility, as Abraham Lincoln put it, improving your lot in life, is the essence of the American dream, the belief in progress, the belief that we can do things better. And when we have an economy like this, where government policies are standing in the way of getting back on track, I think he's hitting the right tune, the right note.
Well, help me understand what upward mobility means.
What it means
how do you define that?
What it means is, no matter where you start in life, you have the opportunity to get the job, learn more skills, move up, earn more income, and move up. Absolutely. You know, the IRS did a survey in the mid-1990s to the middle of the last decade and found people who began in the lower 20% moved up 20 or 40 percentage points, not only in terms of income, but in terms of relative to other people. And that's the promise of America. You can come here if you have the ambition and the desire to get ahead. You can get the skills and do so, whether it's learning more skills or starting a new business.
Well, I think what Paul Ryan was arguing, I thought it was an interesting place he chose to make that speech, too. That's Cuyahoga County, northern Ohio, the city of Cleveland. A lot of Democratic votes in that county. It's almost 2-to-1 registration Democrats versus Republicans. How's a message like that going to be heard?
Oh, I think it's going to resonate. People have a belief that in America you have a chance to move ahead, and people are frustrated and actually very anxious that we are in this what they call new normal, which is the real new abnormal, where people are stuck, people aren't getting those jobs, people aren't getting those skills. And I think that's why that message resonates. People are optimistic in this country.
You remember last week when the welfare number came out? It was estimated $1 trillion of federal spending every year goes to welfare programs. Paul Ryan touched on that. He says you could give every poor American a check for $22,000.
Well,
instead of running the programs they do here.
Yeah, well, you can parse those programs, but I think the essence of what he's getting at, the essence of America, is not taking and giving money and spreading money around. It's the ability for people to develop their own talents, develop their own skills, get ahead, learn responsibility, learn from their mistakes like Steve Jobs did, and move ahead. And that's what it's about, not sitting back passively and waiting for a handout from government.
Steve, how are you going to change that if so many people are getting a check from the government?
Well, most people get a check from the government through Social Security or Medicare, where they feel that during their working lives they put in money and now they're taking it out. So they don't see that as a welfare program. And in terms of what's happened with food stamps, some of the sloppy administration there, the big bulk of that is because this economy is stagnating, and the government does want to create more dependency. So I think Ryan's message resonates. Most people in this country do not have a European attitude where you're always calculating your pension, always trying to get a shorter work week, and trying to retire as early as possible. Most people want to have a chance to really feel they're on this earth for one life, and they want to make the most of it. Instead of being passive, they want to be positive.
What did you make of the jobs number that came out today? It's around 365,000 for the week. There it is, 369. I missed it by a few numbers. But the week prior was revised. It was actually higher at 392,000 a week ago.
Yeah, well, the trend line since March, Bill, has been that most of the increases in jobs in this country are part-time jobs and people who would like to have full-time work but have to take part-time work. I think we've had since March an increase in full-time work of about less than 100,000 jobs. That is absolutely pathetic. And I think one of the points that Romney and Ryan have made is that this so-called recovery is actually slowing down. This is the worst recovery from a sharp downturn, and we can't even keep that speed up.
Well, make your argument. What's business waiting on? Why won't they hire? Why won't they expand? Why won't they move forward if they're stuck where they are, you believe?
Well, very simple reasons. One is prospect of ever higher taxes, massive regulations coming and about to come, waging war on the energy industry, trashing the value of the dollar. You know, you make an investment, if you get a payout in 5 years when you take this risk, it's going to be a 20-cent dollar, an 80-cent dollar. So all of that uncertainty, trashing of money, bad stuff.
Are you arguing the uncertainty of the economy or the conditions of the economy, or both?
The uncertainty and the fact this government is waging war against free enterprise. When you have this massive spending which takes resources from the private sector and puts it in the government hands, when you have ever higher taxes, more onerous regulations, trashing the value of the American dollar, all of those are severe obstacles. So it's not just uncertainty, it's the fact every time you get up, you face a new obstacle.
That's what elections are about, 12 days away. Steve Forbes, thank you.
Thank you, Bill.
Thanks for coming back.